Now, quick question before I do the intro. Is it a Mazda or Suzuki?
Whoa, really?
Okay, that's how it'll be. Oh my God. All right guys, I'm very excited for this episode today. We have a very special and very small Japanese car with, well, pretty much Mercedes gull-wing doors. But first, let's meet the owner before we meet the car. How's it going?
Good.
So I don't need to buy a bike today, but I'd rather maybe drive in your awesome car, which I did see outside. Let's introduce you. This is Kiki, correct?
Killian.
Killian, where did the nickname Kiki come from?
Just childhood nickname.
Okay, so we haven't known each other for that long, so I will call you as you prefer. But tell me about like your place here. Obviously, I kind of want to give people a background of the people who own these cars too.
All right, well, this is my bike shop. Run it with best friend and partner Chris over there.
How's it going?
And yeah, we've been in San Diego running this shop for about 6 years now.
It's a cool place, man. I guess you like things on wheels pretty much.
I love wheeled anything for sure.
Now you may not know it, but this is the Autozam AZ1, or as I know it, that weird little Japanese car with gull-wing doors. You may not be able to name it either because, well, it was produced and designed by Mazda, a car company, yet the engine was provided by Suzuki, a motorcycle company. So is this machine more cycle than car? Well, for starters, its engine's displacement is measured in cc's, its horsepower will never see 3 digits, it revs as high as an F1 car, and it weighs as much as a motorcycle, but with a cow on it. But don't let these stats fool you. You don't need a buddy to mount you from behind to go for a ride on it. Oops, I mean, in it.
Well, I must admit I did see this as I pulled up, so it's not a complete surprise. What was surprising is the size of it, obviously. Even next to my tiny little Aston Vantage, it's still even smaller, which is kind of crazy. But it is so cool looking. It's very low, very small, very short. First of all, you're a big guy. Yeah. I'm a big guy. Hopefully we fit in this.
We'll be okay.
Let alone together. We may be like holding arms or something like that. But
It's gonna be intimate.
very intimate space. This is the first date. I love it. Well, first of all, what have you kind of done to it? I see, does it always have the spoiler on it?
No, so generally stock, if they don't have the Mazda Speed kit, the owner in Japan, decided to put Mazda Speed stickers on it, put a Mazda Speed front end bumper on it, but he didn't change the hood. So this is actually the regular stock, slightly offset.
And the biggest thing is the Lamborghini badge.
Yes. So whatever the owner in Japan had on it, I kept. So whether it was a kitschy little Lamborghini badge and the original little stickers for registration or anything like that.
That's cool. Kind of adds to the history of it, I guess.
Exactly. When it came in, I was kind of like, those goofy Lamborghini badges, but it's kind of cheeky and it's very Japanese, so
yeah,
I really wanted to kind of keep that aesthetic loud.
I have to interrupt you because the party piece on this car is, of course, the doors. Do you mind if we open it? And also, not to shock people, it's right-hand drive, obviously being in Japan. But how cool is that? That is unbelievable. You need to give it a little bit of juice. That looks like a giant vape.
Could be.
Oh my God. I guess while we're here, let's take a look in here. So this is it's a 3-cylinder with a turbo on it, essentially. 660 cc's. All right, this is kind of weird to get in a car from this angle. You got to really put your hand deep there. And hello again. Oh my God. Oh, got to put the foot in, or do I slide butt in with this passenger?
Yeah, foot in always first, and then it's a lot easier on the passenger side.
Sorry, I don't own a car with full doors.
Okay, you're in.
Okay, now I just can't chop my head off.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, sorry.
That's what you need to do.
I know. Maybe, and this probably will show all of our acne and everything wrong with our face because it's such an intimate interior. All right. Okay. Oh, it's got AC. I'm completely unbuttoned. I'm such
Yeah,
a
it's got. I just put the AC in. The last thing we did.
Wow.
So we won't get too much power out of it.
Maybe we can actually put the AC off.
Oh, we will
and
when we
do windows down if you want.
Yeah, for sure.
If that's possible, because we actually ironically might. Okay, that's a very small window.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, maybe run the AC on 1. I fit, which is cool. The things we do for sound. This is cool. It's like a little race window thing. Oh, the world feels so cold out here.
Yeah, it's.
Do you get a lot of heat from the engine?
Not so much from the engine, but just it's a little fishbowl in here.
But already it feels very zippy, very race car-y because you feel.
Oh yeah, it's very tight.
You hear everything, and yes, it's very tight. Wow.
Yeah, 45 feels like 100 in this little car.
That's so cool. Do you ever track it?
No, I'd like to, because I'd like to kind of be able to feel the limits on it, honestly.
Speaking of limits, I heard there's a governor on the car. Have you removed that? I heard that's what the AZ1 community does.
Oh yeah, this thing will cruise nicely at 95 to 100 miles an hour, no problem.
As we said, this thing has like 64 horsepower. So
yeah, that's the claimed.
You know, and people always go, yes, but there's a power to weight ratio. Yes, this is 1,500 pounds, correct?
Right about
But
there.
it's still 64 horsepower.
Yeah, and it's nice once the turbo spools up. You know, when we get on the freeway here, I'll take the AC off and we'll really get it moving. But
so because that power is lower, and I don't want to hurt its feelings, I'm sorry, but you do feel a difference with the AC off.
Oh yeah, I mean that's
interesting.
Yeah, I keep this at a storage unit. There's actually a really steep driveway, and you have to stop before you go in because of the nature of the gate. And if I have the AC on, she won't make it up.
No way. Yeah. Dude, this is so fun. This is silly. How many miles you got on it?
She's got 36,000 kilometers.
Wow. Does it rev to 9,000 RPM?
Yes, sir.
From a 3-cylinder?
Yes, sir.
What? And it's turbocharged?
Yes, sir.
How the hell did they do that?
I don't know, the magic of Suzuki and Mazda.
That's the reason why our video games are so good. They can do it with the cars too. And it feels like I'm in a video game. This is outrageous. Because I feel like this isn't real. I've never been in a cockpit like this before. Sorry, should I put the... Okay, no, we're good.
We can go up.
Are we turbulent?
Yeah, that way it's just...
Oh, now we're aerodynamic. Now we're like a little bullet. This is awesome. And it's a 5-speed too.
Yes.
Which is also interesting to have a 5-speed in a lower horsepower car. Especially when you have those revs that sit that high.
You can actually really get to use it. You know what I mean? So we're doing about 90 right now.
You're kidding.
We're over 140, yeah.
You know, I don't feel like we're going incredibly fast, which is usually a trademark of a very stable car. We got someone on our...
Holy moly.
Wow, a passive-aggressive Chevy, whatever that is, driver.
It's all good. We're taking this exit anyway.
Probably a housewife of 3. Husband doesn't love her enough anymore. Didn't buy her an Escalade.
Sorry, taking this one late.
I don't feel lag. It feels great.
Oh no, we're sitting up in the revs, so as long as you keep over.
So I mean, like I had a 944 Turbo S, and like obviously those older 80s turbos kick in at about like I don't know 3,000-4,000 RPM.
It's about the same for this one.
But the only difference is you have more RPM after that.
So you really use it.
So the turbo range is it from like 4 to 9?
About 4 to 9, yeah. I mean, it kind of kills off at about 8,000, really.
Jeez, man, I cannot. Just the 9,000 RPM revving for me makes it. It's so fun to wind cars out.
It makes it usable. I mean, if you're gonna have a tiny motor, you got to be able to wind it out.
Yeah, you don't want to shift every second.
Exactly.
Now, how many of these are actually in the U.S.? Because you said the community is actually growing bigger here.
Yeah, so there's a pretty active community on Facebook.
Can I ask? Can I interrupt you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Just to preface why maybe there's more is we've hit that 25-year rule now.
Yeah.
So cars that were not street legal and had no hope of being street legal in the U.S. now can because they're considered classics. That's why we're seeing the R36 GTRs coming in. And sorry, I will let you continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no worries. All good. But yeah, these came out in '92, so they've had 3 years now to kind of have a little bit more, you could say inventory in the United States. But so far we know 50 owners for sure between California and, Canada. in the United States.
Yeah, I saw you drive around once, which is what sparked this whole video for me. Yeah, this whole series is about finding weird cars and their weird owners. Just joking. But no, yeah, I think it's fascinating to see people driving and enjoying cars and taking risks to buy cars that, you know, not everyone knows how to maintain something like this, how to replace the parts on it.
Yeah, these ones are surprisingly easy though. The motor is one of the easiest motors to work on besides like a lug motor.
And I heard you can access it through here.
Exactly. So it's two-sided. Even if you pull it out, you know, there's readily available mounts for them. They put this motor in K-trucks. They put them in snowmobiles. You know, it's a pretty widely distributed motor. So there's a lot of actual hard parts for it. Now, you know, certain body parts or AZ1 specific parts, a little harder to come by, but you know, given it's a Mazda, the community behind it is just fantastic. So
that makes sense. And yeah, I'm sure there's cross parts between everything, but are there cross parts between a motorcycle? Because is this technically a motorcycle engine? Because I heard Mazda wanted to do kind of a crazy car and Suzuki came in and did the motor.
Nah, it's definitely not a motorcycle engine. I mean, it revs out almost like one, but
yeah,
you know, it's not like a V-twin or anything like that. You definitely don't see straight threes on a lot of motorcycles.
I know nothing about motorcycles. Nothing. My mom would never let me drive one. I have a good Jewish mom. I can't do it. How did you figure out about the car? Not everyone knows about it. Not everyone's a car nerd. Like even for me, I'm a car nerd and I didn't know about it forever. So how did you figure out about this thing? And obviously only 3 years ago it became street legal. So what was the timing like between finding this?
The first time I found out about this car was honestly through Gran Turismo, old video game.
Yes,
so this was an available car in Gran Turismo, and I actually didn't know it was gulwing. I just knew AZ1, you know, blah blah blah. I didn't do too much research into it in my early teens. Internet really wasn't what it is today.
Wow.
Blah blah blah.
You've known about it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's kind of where I found out about it. But I didn't really know, you know, much about it. You know, and then in my late 20s, I just kind of really got into, you know, Japanese cars, and it was through the motorcycle and scooter tuner scene in Southern California. I was building ruckuses and other bikes and things like that, and kind of got really into, you know, small Japanese cars.
You certainly did it.
Yeah. And yeah, just, you know, eventually got into AZ1s. Thought they were just a really odd piece of automotive history and just an interesting K car.
Well, it certainly is. For me, like, I've loved many cars overseas that aren't street legal yet, so it's just interesting to me that you had a love for something you could never really own. And it's hard to think about where you're going to be in 10 years from where you started loving something.
Yeah. And
yet you still found it and still found joy and want in owning it as a completely different human being, from a teenager to 20s to, you know, whatever. So I think that's interesting. It goes to my next question. How the hell did you acquire it?
That's actually kind of funny. I was sitting with some friends, one of whom lives in Japan, and he's actually a Mini enthusiast. But
of course,
somebody posed the question, like, what car would you want to buy right now if it was available, right? Like, what would you get right now? And I just said AZ1, and my friend Rocky was like, well, we can make that happen. Like, get the fuck out of here. And sure enough, within a week, we had contacted a friend of his who specializes in importing Minis into Japan, and he was kind of on the hunt. And instead of going through auctions, we pretty much only tried to find private ones that were low mileage, you know, 1 or 2 owner cars, which this was a 2-owner. And you know, I basically wanted a runner with low mileage, right? You know, and he managed to find it.
Your miles are 36
kilometers, so what? That's about 25,000 miles on it.
Jesus,
on a 92.
Yeah, this is one of the lowest. I mean, no, that's incredible.
I've seen a few lower ones, but it's definitely one of the lowest I've seen.
Wow.
So we got real lucky with it. The guy knows his cars, so he made actually a 3-4 hour train drive, train ride down from where he's living. Went and checked out the car, you know, told me it was in excellent condition. Guy would drive it on windy roads, you know, kind of everything I was looking for. And it was a year before, you know, they were legal in the US. So bought it, stored it in Japan.
Okay.
And then once it was legal, literally on its birthday, it got shipped out. And then spent 4 months getting California legal.
And how does that? How do you get California legal?
So there's essentially an engineering firm in Santa Ana, and they do it. It's I don't know if it's kind of a racket, but they're the only place in California that's certified by California Air Resource Board to legally put on a catalytic converter. So anyways, so you pay you know, a certain amount of money. It depends how much it is for the car. This one, because I was able to get the car earlier at a good price, it made sense to me to California legalize it. And there we go. I got it after that. Four months later, went up to Santa Ana and drove it down to San Diego.
Wow.
There we go.
That's actually crazy. I mean, it must have been painful waiting after you'd already purchased it. You didn't go to Japan to see it, did you?
No, it was, this was kind of one of those sight unseen buys, but I trusted the person that went out and looked at it and drove it.
Well, it's in great condition. Right now we're gonna stop talking and start eating because, well, we're rather hungry, and we were thinking about getting some ramen. Ironically, I went to get ramen with my girlfriend last night.
Same with me.
No way, really?
No joke.
And when I say went to get it, I had someone deliver it.
Same exact thing.
I've gone so into ramen recently.
Really?
Okay, so we just like leave it running, or?
No. So it's got a turbo timer, so it allows the turbo to cool down, and then it shuts off.
Wow, what is the time span usually of that?
It just depends. This guy, it kind of has a little computer on it, and then it just knows essentially once it's gotten to a certain temperature.
Wow, that's fascinating. That's pretty awesome technology. Huh.
All right, let's do it.
All right, this is it. Cheers. This looks delicious. Oh my God. Oh my God, I am so goddamn full. I have so much liquid inside me. I had beer, water, ramen, and now I'm about to go in a tiny washing machine, so this should be interesting. How small this looks in the parking space. That's hilarious. Next question is, how is this car in your daily life? What do you use it for? How often do you use it? You know, what type of looks do you get in it? Because I'm sure you get looks.
Well, honestly, I don't drive her very much anymore. I drive her maybe once, twice a month.
Why is that?
I got a lot of cars, and
a lot of
honestly,
bikes.
we're just really busy right now at the shop. So I have one day a week that I can really kind of get the cars out, and this one's in a storage unit. So just kind of the added extra steps, honestly, it's just kind of laziness.
Yeah,
so
always.
I would totally drive her a lot more, which is why the battery, you know, doesn't have a lot of juice right now. If I let her sit for more than 5 weeks, it pretty much will go flat. She's not on the tender. But yeah, I mean, usually I'll take her out to a car show here and there. I'll drive in there for about 5 minutes, hang out, go get a coffee, and then, you know, I shoot out, you know, answer a few questions. But yeah, this thing gets a lot of attention, a lot of looks. I mean, it's kind of like a life-size little anime car, right?
Yeah, basically.
Kind of a cute little face, and the gullwing doors, and even people who aren't into cars, they have to ask.
It just has that formula to be intriguing. Yeah, that's super cool, man.
It's weird as hell. So.
Wow. All right, well that answers that. We don't want to kiss.
Not on the first date.
Yeah, I know. I don't give it away like that, okay? What kind of man do you think I am? It's so loud and noisy.
It's a very visceral.
I love it. It's like a little race car.
It is. It's a little go-kart.
Speaking of which, I'd be interested to see what this thing can do.
Oh yeah.
see how bloated I am. This is cool. That's fast.
Oh yeah,
Especially with like us in here. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we're a lot of men.
I think we put about almost 500 pounds on this car.
Hey, what are you trying to insinuate here?
The two of us. Yeah, we literally, you know, put 1/3 of the weight into this between the two of us.
And the whole concept of the car is low weight.
Yeah.
So we kind of defeat the purpose there.
But she still goes, man.
No, it's
She
very
still
good.
goes.
Handles very well. It's a very fun car. My roll-up windows.
Yeah, you're not gonna win any drag meets. You know what I mean?
No.
But you'll definitely.
It's so crazy the revving of it.
Oh yeah, but this is like a cheater car on autocross. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You show up to autocross with
Are
this
you
thing.
first the entire time?
And
The
second,
short track,
you just sit in second.
Yeah.
So even when we go up to the hills up here, I'll sit in third or second pretty much the whole time, which is really nice. It makes it really enjoyable to drive on the twisties. You have such a high rev band.
Oh yeah.
It really, really is an enjoyable car.
And I heard it's quite efficient. You're like 40.
Yeah, I get
miles
about
an
like
hour.
between 38 and 45 depending.
Oh, wow.
You know, I've driven this up to Big Bear and gotten great gas mileage, and for the most part, you know, as comfortable as a tiny
You know what?
little
I
car
really
can
love
be.
this
So-
car. I think it's really awesome. It's really fun. This is what cars are about for me, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, we even have a little CRX SI in front of us.
And we're much lower and smaller than it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
I mean, look at the wheel, you know.
Oh my god, yeah.
You're tire level
when
everywhere.
you look at when you look at cars around, you're at tire level.
It's got the original plate on it too. I love it.
You're just such a Japanese car nerd, aren't you?
I love them. I love Hondas. You know. Cool if we take some pictures of the car here?
That's fine.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
How does someone say no to you when you open up your door like that? All right, so now we're on to the final question. What are your plans with the car? You said you got lots of things. Sometimes you can't drive all of them. It's obviously not a school bus, and it's not a minivan. You can't use it for everything. Not the safest thing on planet Earth either.
No.
No offense, but
Don't take it.
but you know what are your? Do you want to get rid of it? Do you want to keep it? What are your plans with this car?
Kind of known as a little bit of a hoarder, so
Same.
I'll probably keep it for a little while. I do want more cars, obviously, in the future. So yeah, I'll probably sell it, but I'd like to track it a few times before then.
And I see this appreciating too, obviously.
Yeah, well, most 80s, 90s Japanese anything is appreciating big, thanks to the good old Radwood tax and all that fun stuff that's happening, and the appreciation for these cars. It's really kind of grown through different YouTube, you know, mediums and Instagram and things like that. They're becoming popular, so I definitely see myself getting my money back if I decide to sell the vehicle. As far as modifying it, pretty much done. I have a Mazda Speed hood that I might throw on there, but besides that, I really like the way she sits right now. She runs great, handles great. So I'm just gonna enjoy the car for a couple years, and you know,
it's pretty
we'll figure it out then.
Will you let me know when you want to get rid of it? I think it's so cool.
It's Cali legal too, so
Yeah, I just think it's unbelievable, and I really appreciate the experience of being able to go in it with you.
Hey, high five.
Yeah, thanks, bro. That was we pulled it off. I was like, is my high five gonna hit you in the face or the gullwing door? But regardless, yeah, this has been pretty epic.
Hey man, appreciate it.
Of course. And that was another awkward, pretty high five too. But anyway. All right, so that is it. Big thank you to you once again.
No problem.
That was an unbelievable experience, and as I said, it's really cool not only to be able to kind of give people an idea in the history behind these crazy cars, but also behind the minds of the people that own them. And I just want to thank you for owning it and taking a risk to be a little weird, because it just makes the road so much more exciting. And honestly, it's a pleasure to film a video like this with a car like this, and you've been an awesome guy, and very good on camera. I didn't have to pay him anything extra than the usual. But regardless, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video as well. And if you want to see me on more things, I'm of course on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Guys, if you want to like the video, well, give it a like. And you know what? You better subscribe too. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.